Greetings, humans. Me, Bob Harris, senior editor of FootballDiehards.com. It's time for the Week 13 injury review, preview, update, overview thing. Something we like to do every Saturday. Get you up to speed on all the injuries heading into Sunday. Let you know what kind of game time decisions are coming, who's been ruled out, what kind of fallback plans you need based on the order of kickoffs. So, as always, I'll be going through all these injuries in the order of kickoffs, starting with the early afternoon window. There's no buys. Everybody's playing this week, except for the teams that played on Thursday, as you well know. The Lions and Bears are done. Bears eking out an easy, close win. David Blau, incredibly effective in his first NFL start. The Bills beating the Cowboys, and of course the Saints taking care of business against the Falcons, although it ended up being a little closer than the score. It wasn't really as close as the score indicated, but the Falcons made a push at the end. So we'll start out with the early afternoon window. James Conner is listed as doubtful for the Steelers going up against the Browns. Juju Smith-Schuster's been ruled out, so Benny Snell likely remains the lead back. Jalen Samuels has been hard to play. Still a PPR viable, but set your expectations a little lower. Snell's been handling the bulk of the workload, or did last week, and looks like he will going forward, at least in terms of between the tackles work. Deontay Johnson and James Washington, the top downfield threats. For Duck Hodges, Devlin Hodges will be the starter this week, replacing Mason Rudolph. On the other side of the ball, all systems go for everybody. David Njoku has not yet been cleared to play off IR. Maybe that happens sometime Saturday. As always, watch the main page of the website, the late breaking update section. Anything that said here as of noon Saturday could change after that, and will change right up through Sunday, so I'll follow up everything through Sunday's resolution on Sunday's inactive announcements. The Indianapolis Colts hosting the Tennessee Titans. Marlon Mack, of course, out. He's aiming for a Week 14 return, it sounds like. In the meantime, Jonathan Williams remains the primary ball carrier there. Naheem Hines chipping in. T.Y. Hilton's been ruled out. Again, had a setback with the calf injury on Wednesday, so they ruled him out on Thursday. Paris Campbell, questionable. He could return to action this week. Had the hand injury. He's missed 3 games. And they could use his speed, that's for sure. Eric Ebron's done for the year, so Jack Doyle will be the primary tight end. Mo Alley Cox listed as questionable with a thumb injury. The Eagles in a fantastic matchup. Let's see, looks like Adam Thielen's coming back. I'll get to that. Jordan Howard has been ruled out. It's Philadelphia Eagles are at Miami. A great matchup for the Eagles. Carson wants to get better. He'll do it without Jordan Howard, who's been ruled out Saturday morning. Miles Sanders and J.I. Jai will continue to handle the bulk of the work there. Zach Ertz is listed as questionable. It sounds like it's a mild injury and maybe wouldn't be a concern under normal circumstances, but they're playing the Dolphins. Maybe they feel like they don't need him. If he doesn't play, Dallas Goedert would be a great pivot or a great standalone play. It's worth noting the Eagles promoted a practice squad tight end, Josh Perkins, to the active roster, kind of as insurance. So that's one you'll need to watch right up through kickoff tomorrow. I'll obviously have some information overnight from some of the national insiders if you check the main page of the site. And we'll have a feel for that going into the game, and we'll know for sure in the 90 minutes leading up to the early afternoon kickoff. For the Giants, Golden Tate, Evan Ingram, and Red Ellison all ruled out. So tight end will be Scott Simonson, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton will be the primary downfield threats at receiver. So a little clarity there. It's always nice to have. Demaryius Thomas going up against the Bengals for the New York Jets. He's been surprisingly effective the last few weeks. He's been playing through a lingering hamstring issue. He's listed as questionable again. My guess is he'll play through it again. Not sure how viable he is fantasy-wise, but he's in the mix, right, with along with Jameson Crowder and Robbie Anderson. A.J. Green ruled out. Drew Sample, the rookie tight end, also ruled out. At this point, I don't see any reason to expect Green to come back this year. I mean, it's kind of a lost season in Cincinnati. You'll be surprised to learn. Andy Dalton, of course, has returned to the starting lineup. Ryan Finley era is over. The experiment is over for now, and they'll try to win some games with Dalton. For the Washington Redskins at Carolina, Chris Thompson looks like he'll return from like a 5-week absence, it seems. With a toe injury, maybe Wendell Smallwood falls behind him. The top 2 backs there remain Darius Geis and Adrian Peterson, and anyone else is just chipping in as a receiving role, it seems. And Darius Geis is a pretty good receiver. Paul Richardson ruled out with a hamstring issue. Kelvin Harmon's kind of been coming on the last few weeks in terms of targets anyways, joining Terry McLaurin and Trey Quinn as kind of semi-viable downfield plays. Obviously, McLaurin's a reasonable fantasy play as well with Dwayne Haskins. The Haskins wrist injury, by the way, is not an issue. He's fine off the injury report. Same with Adrian Peterson and his toe issue. Good news for the 49ers traveling to Baltimore. The good news is not traveling to Baltimore. The Ravens defense is tough. So is the 49ers defense. Hell of a game. It's maybe the game of the day, San Francisco at Baltimore. But Matt Breida is questionable with his ankle injury. He's missed the last couple of weeks. Looks like he's trending towards coming back to practice on a limited basis all week. Dante Pettis sprained a knee in practice during the week. He has been ruled out and is considered week to week. The good news, George Kittle off the injury report. Deebo Samuel, Emmanuel Sanders off the injury report. They were limited this week, but removed on Friday. And Robbie Gould returns, the place kicker. On the other side of the ball, Nick Boyle, the tight end, and Miles Boykin, wide receiver, are both listed as questionable with ankle injuries. Neither are primary threats. Obviously, in the passing attack, the tight ends are very important there. Wide receivers are kind of hit and miss beyond Marquise Brown. Willie Snead's played well. Boykin's made some catches, but not really reliable weapons in terms of fantasy. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Jacksonville, Scotty Miller, wide receiver, has been ruled out, third wide receiver. Plays a role, but not a fantasy prominent role. For the Jaguars, everyone's off the injury report. Chris Conley had a hamstring issue. He's fine. Seth DeValve, the tight end, has been ruled out, of course, so nobody was playing him anyway. Late afternoon kickoffs. This is the one that's irritating. Kyler Murray turned up on the injury report Friday. He worked fully, yet they listed him as questionable with a hamstring issue. Obviously, mobility, a big part of his game. Going up against the Rams, that will be a factor. So my guess is he plays, but it's a late afternoon kickoff, so you'll need a fallback plan in place. And also, I'll have some pretty good information on him again overnight. Check the late breaking update section, shortly after midnight Saturday. And I'll probably have some updated information there then, and I will update throughout the day. It's a late afternoon kick, so plenty of time to figure it out. Gerald Everett on the other side of the ball has been ruled out with a knee. He hyperextended against the Ravens. Tyler Higbee time, kids. Cardinals can't guard tight ends, in case you have not noticed. The Kansas City Chiefs host the Oakland Raiders. Going to be cold day. Just going to double check that time, yes. Going to be cold day. Derek Carr apparently doesn't play good in the cold. If you check the late breaking update section, I have a nice piece on Jack Del Rio, Derek Carr's former coach, calling him out for not playing well in the cold. Anyhow, Damian Williams out for the Chiefs. So it's LaShawn McCoy, Darrell Williams, maybe Darwin Thompson gets a little look, but mostly McCoy and Darrell Williams, and that's a tough call as to whether to play either of those guys. Darrell Williams, it seems a bit dicey. If McCoy's rolling good, do we see Williams? If Williams gets shot and gets rolling, do we see more McCoy? Don't like these situations. On the other side of the ball, Hunter Renfrow, the rookie wide receiver, slot man, has been ruled out. Not sure how long he'll be out, but he broke a rib and reportedly punctured a lung last week. So the good news there is maybe it boosts Darren Waller as his numbers have fallen off in recent weeks, and some part of the reason is Hunter Renfrow has been playing better. They've been targeting him more, so maybe Waller can get back in line here or bump up his totals again. And just one other note there in the late afternoon window, Drew Lock appears to be trending towards starting. He practiced with the first team all week. They may not announce that until Sunday, but sometime Saturday afternoon, watch late breaking updates, they will activate him off IR, according to head coach Vic Fangio. Sunday night game, Julian Edelman, Philip Dorsett, Mohamed Sanu, all listed as questionable with their lingering ongoing issues. It seems like Dorsett will play. It seems like Edelman will play. Sanu maybe a little dicier, but seems to be trending in a good direction. N'Keal Harry and Jacoby Myers have jumped in when they haven't. Ryan Izzo, the tight end, has been ruled out. Not a big factor in the passing attack either way. Tom Brady was limited on Thursday, but came back and worked fully. He worked on Friday and was off the injury report. A flu rolling around the Patriots headquarters. So they have 17 guys listed as questionable, most of them due to the flu. So that's something to watch. For the Texans on the other side, Will Fuller off the injury report. So good news there. As I said, as I was sitting here talking, I saw some news rolling in on Adam Thielen. Looks like 4 weeks after aggravating his hamstring, Thielen could be returning Monday night. He's practicing again. I'll check his injury status and have it on the main page of the site. Dalvin Cook was also limited. That's the Monday night game against Seattle. Dalvin Cook was also limited one day, but came back to work I think it was Thursday, came back to work fully Friday. So my guess is he'll be off the injury report. I'll have the official injury reports up in the site here momentarily. So check that, but expect Thielen to play again Monday night. So have fallback plans in place. Tyler Lockett did not practice on Friday because of an illness. He also has the shin, but he played through that last week. That doesn't seem to be the issue, just an illness. If that's the case, he's almost certain to play. So there you have it. We're heading into the playoffs, people. We'll get serious about this. We're always serious about this. Don't take ourselves very seriously, but we do take the work seriously. So check back the site. Tons of good content there, tons of DFS content, video, audio, written columns, all kinds of stuff by some really good minds, including Brad Cruz, one of the best high stakes players in the land. Bobby Gomes, former Millionaire Maker winner for DraftKings. Kyle Dvorak, Justin Linero, Gary Davenport, Mike Valverde, Matthew Sharon, Evan Tarciano, the whole crew. Everyone does a great job, and including myself, Emil Cadlick. We have tons of information for you, so check it out. And again, hit the website early Sunday. Bobby and Kyle will be doing a live Q&A video. It starts at 9 Eastern time. And they'll answer any of your questions. I'll be on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio Sunday in the pregame show with Jeff Mans from 11 to 1. More information there as well as on the site. If you're listening this Saturday afternoon, tune in to SiriusXM NFL Radio for the Football Diehards there from 8 to 11 with myself and Mike Dempsey. During the week, we're on every single day it's about 6 p.m. With the Football Diehards as well on the Fantasy, SiriusXM Fantasy. So there you have it. Good luck this week. Let's get into the playoffs, kids. Talk to you next week.